welcome everyone. So myself Ms. Shubhra Bhinde from Government College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Assistant Professor. Program Bachelor of Science, second year, subject Botany, fourth semester. This is one of the core paper, BOC 104, the paper code. Course title, Plant Physiology. Title of the unit is Translocation in Phloem. In this unit, we will be studying the phloem loading, outline, apoplastic loading and symplastic loading. Learning outcomes. At the end of this particular module, a learner will be able to describe the pathways involved in phloem loading, explain the sucrose H+ symporter transport, the polymer trapping model, and he will be able to draw the sketches of the pathways which can describe the whole phloem loading process. So the topic phloem loading we will be starting now. Before going into this topic, some of the introduction of phloem loading. Phloem loading, it deals with the loading of the sugars or the photosynthates, whereas the xylem portion, it deals with the transport of water molecules. In phloem, the transport can be either downwards, radial or upward. Here we are dealing only with the downward movement of the transfer. The sugars or the photosynthates, they are formed in the source, which is the leaf cell. The phloem loading, it is concerned with the photosynthetes. The photosynthetes are formed in the leaf. The leaf is the source, and from the source it is transported to the different organs of the plant. That is, it can be roots, root tubers or any other organ of the plant other than the leaf. The leaf is regarded as the source, whereas the roots and the other portion, they are regarded as the sink. Phloem loading deals with the transfer of photosynthetes from the leaf into the sieve tube elements. Till here is the phloem loading. Then from the sieve tube into the root cell, it is the phloem unloading. Today we are going to discuss only with the phloem loading. Phloem loading pathways. Now the pathway or the process of phloem loading, it is selective and only for sugars, not for any other elements. So each mechanism is associated with a distinctive type of companion cell. Companion cells, they play a very important role in phloem loading because they take the photosynthetes and then transfer into the other part of the plant body. There are two pathways. First one is the apoplastic and symplastic. First, the apoplastic, it is also known as active loading. It requires a lot of energy apart from the other pathway. Now what happens in apoplastic loading is that the transport of the sugars is from apoplast. What is the meaning of apoplast is? It is the cell walls. So transport of the sugars takes place from one cell to another through cell wall. This particular pathway, it is also known as sucrose H+ symport or co-transport mechanism. This is a diagram wherein all the three cells are named over here which take part in apoplastic loading. That is the apoplast, companion cell and the phloem. Now we will see the sucrose H+ symport mechanism in detail. First step in this particular mechanism is the protons, the H+ ion. They are initially pumped out from the cytoplasm into the cell wall through the plasma membrane. So this movement requires the energy because it is an energy driven process. The energy is given in the form of ATP, wherein the ATP is broken down into ADP plus phosphate, and it also requires ATPase carrier enzyme. So these two things are required for the first step, that is the movement of the protons from the cytoplasm into the cell wall. So once this transfer has taken place, the concentration of H+ or the protons becomes less in the cytoplasm as compared to the cell wall. So to maintain an equilibrium, some of the protons again enter into the cytoplasm. This entry, it is a coupled transport. It brings with it the sucrose molecule which is already present in the cell wall. And this particular coupled transport is brought about by sucrose co-transporter protein. This protein helps in bringing the sucrose from the cell wall into the cytoplasm. Now the next pathway is the symplastic pathway. This is also known as passive pathway or the passive transport because it requires less energy and is much faster as compared to the apoplastic pathway. This particular pathway is dependent on the process of diffusion. Now what happens in diffusion? The molecules, they move from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. So here the same principle applies. Diffusion of sugars from the mesophyll to the sieve elements. Because in the mesophyll, the source or the sugars, they are in higher concentration. Whereas in the sieve elements, there are no sugars or they are in less concentration. So movement of sugars from the mesophyll into the sieve tube elements via plasmodesmata. Now it is a new term, plasmodesmata. This is nothing but they are the channels which are found in the each and every cells. These channels are used for the transport of solute materials. They can be any solutes. Here the solute is sugar or the photosynthate. In this particular diagram, you can see how the sugar producing cell, that is the leaf, transfers the sucrose, which is shown in the white colored dots, into the companion cell and then into the sieve tube of the phloem. And it is transported through the arrows which are shown in this particular image. Those are the plasmodesmatal channels. This particular pathway is explained through the polymer trapping model. The last pathway, it required the sucrose H plus transporter mechanism, whereas this pathway is explained through the polymer trapping model. We will see that model in the next slide. This is the polymer trapping model. It was given in 1990 by the authors Turgeon and Gowan to prove that there is one more pathway which exists in the plant system, that is the symplastic pathway. Here there are three cells which are labeled over here. Bundle sheath cell, intermediary cell. This middle cell, that is known as the intermediary cell, is nothing but a companion cell. It is named as intermediary cell because it is having high amount of cytoplasm. And the third is the sieve element, which is going to transport the sugar into the sink tissue. Initially, the sucrose or the other sugars which are produced in the leaf, that is in the mesophyll cells of the leaf, they are transported from the mesophyll into the bundle sheath cell. From the bundle sheath cell, with the help of the plasmodesmatal channel, they enter into the intermediary cell. Here, the sucrose combines with the galactose and forms a compound known as raffinose. Now, this particular compound, which is called as raffinose, it is structurally much larger as compared to sucrose and galactose. So, it cannot diffuse back again into the bundle sheath cell depending upon the concentration gradient, but it has to move into the sieve element. Now, since the structure of this is much larger, it cannot go through the plasmodesmatal channel. So, it passes through the pores of the sieve element. Each and every sieve tube element, they have got sieve plates which are placed end to end. Each of the sieve plates, they have got sieve pores which helps in the transport of different solutes. So this particular element, that is known as raffinose, it is going to pass through that sieve pore and enter into the sieve element, which will then transport it to the sink tissue. So this is all about the polymer trapping model, which is the movement of the sugars through plasmodesmata. Reference: these are the books you can refer for further information. Thank you.